Okay, Anna. As you know, you have 15 minutes to present. After your presentation, you have a seat and you'll receive questions from the commission. You may start.
Okay. So, good morning, Commission. Today I'm going to present you my research that is called Teacher and Students' Perceptions of the Effect of Discussion as an Active Teaching Strategy on Adult Students' Self-Perceived Competence of Tutorial Activities. In order to contextualize you, I'm going to give you the background information. This research was carried out at the course Inglés Básico 2 at Universidad Santo Tomás. It was compounded by 26 students of different programs. And the main characteristic is that the English lessons were once a week at in a duration of 4 blocks. During the internship, it was possible to notice that there was a lack of activities that allowed students to produce the target language. In addition, it was observable that students tended to participate more in written tasks and when they were working in groups. For this, can be said that this study, the problem emerged from an empirical perspective. See, some research, as the ones you can see here, have mentioned that active teaching strategies are beneficial for the students' learning process. In addition, there was a bridging knowledge, because even though there are some research that have considered active teaching strategies, such as Planmeyer et al., they did not consider its effect and the student and teacher's perceptions. Moreover, the purpose of the study is to enhance the students' self-perceived competence of twin oral activities through the use of discussion as an active teaching strategy. And the research question is, how does the use of discussion as an active teaching strategy affect the students' self-perceived competence of tutorial activities according to the students' and teachers' perception? In order to answer that question, it was set the general objective that corresponds to understand the students' and teachers' perceptions towards the effect of discussion as an active teaching strategy on adult students' self-perceived competence of tutorial activities. 4 main specific objectives were set. These objectives were based on the 4 stages of the design of this study that corresponds to an action research design that will be explained later. The assumption that emerged was that discussion as an active teaching strategy has a positive effect on students' self-perceived competence of tutorial activities, because some research, as I aforementioned, have mentioned that active teaching strategies are beneficial for the students' learning process. In the following concept map, you can see the main concepts that are necessary to be understood in order to continue with the research. English as a foreign language can be defined as English being taught or learned in places where English is not the mother tongue. In the study, this will be observed as the student's national context, where English is only used in the English lessons. The active teaching strategy will be defined as teaching techniques that are intended to make students participate actively in their own learning. This will be observed a discussion. Self-perceived competence can be defined as the degree to which an individual views him or herself as capable in different domains. This will be seen as the student's answer in the instruments. And perception can be defined as the power of perceiving performance based on past experience and knowledge. This will be observed as the teacher and student's answers in the instruments. The paradigm of this study corresponds to a critical tradition that can be understood not as interpretations or descriptions, but as emancipative and transformative identity, according to González Moraes. In addition, Creswell mentioned that during this process of the critical tradition, the researcher has an active participation during the whole process of the investigation. Taking into consideration that in this study, the researcher was the one in charge of collecting the data and implementing the strategy on the study, can be said that it was accomplished what Creswell stated. Regarding the approach, corresponds to a qualitative approach that has the aim to explore and understand the meaning individuals or groups ascribe to a social or human problem. This study looks forward to understanding the perception that the participants have about a particular phenomenon. Thus, it can be said that it focuses on discovery, was process-oriented, subjective, and not generalizable, that according to Mackey and Gass are the main characteristics of a qualitative approach. The design, as I aforementioned, corresponds to an action research that has the purpose to investigate the resolution of important social or organizational issues together with those who experience those issues directly. In this case, the participants were students that were affected directly by the phenomenon under study Thus, what Kaufman proposes was also accomplished. In action research, there are 4 steps that are called planning, acting, observing, and reflecting. In the first step, it's necessary to determine the research problem that is intended to be studied and to create a plan of action. In the first step also, you have to consider the research question, the participants, and the instruments that are going to be applied, as well as the analysis to be followed. In the second stage, acting, as the name suggests, it is intended to implement the plan of action previously created. In the observing stage, it is necessary to observe the results and prepare them for further reflection. And in the reflecting stage, it is necessary for the researcher to explain and interpret the results that were obtained of the data. Regarding the sample, as I aforementioned, the course was compounded by 26 students, and 19 of them were women and 7 of them were men. The teacher was also a participant, and she was a native speaker. And the scenario, basically, the English lessons were based on completing worksheets that were based on explicit grammar and answering yes/no questions. The data collection, where in this part, different instruments were applied according to the different stages. In the first stage, field notes were taken along with a journal that was compounded by 5 questions, and that students answered it in their mother tongue in order for them to focus on the answer and not in the proper use of the target language. In the acting stage, field notes were also taken and the lessons plans were applied. In this stage, 4 lesson plans were implemented, and they included discussion in the pre and while activities of the lesson, and they had a duration of 40 minutes each. In the third stage, field notes were also taken, and a second journal was asked to the students to be answered. It was similar to the first one. It had 5 questions and was answered in the students' mother tongue. And in the final step, field notes were taken, and a questionnaire was applied, in this case to the teacher. The questionnaire was an open-ended, and it was compounded by 5 questions. And this was answered in the teacher's mother tongue because she seems to have some problems when using the verbs in Spanish. So in order to make it focus on the answer and not in the verbs, it was made in her mother tongue. The data analysis corresponded to grounded theory coding that, according to Strauss and Corbin, is divided into open coding, Excel coding, and selective coding. In the first part, the data collected from each instrument were segmented into open codes, as the ones you can see here. These were the 3 main open codes that emerged. Then, these open codes were integrated into main categories, as the one you can see here. And then this made possible the emergence of possible core concepts, as the ones we can see here. As in every research, it was important to meet trustworthiness, and 4 aspects were considered. In order to assure credibility, the instruments were applied between the month of September and December. Thus, the participants were used to the teacher's presence, to the researcher's presence, and they could behave naturally. In order to make transferability, it was stated that the findings can be transferred to a different context only if these contexts had similar characteristics with the ones of the current research. That means the methodology implemented by the teacher, the amount of students, etc. In order to assure confirmability, it was necessary to give enough detail of the data, and for this was used matrices and the different open codes in order to make the other researchers and the readers easier to discern how these interpretations emerge. And in order to make the dependability, it was necessary to review the data collected to draw inference and evaluate the dependability of the inference that had been drawn. For this, it was necessary the use of an external researcher, in this case was the advisor, in order to avoid mistakes. Regarding the findings, it was possible to notice that there was a change in the students' self-perceived competence by tutorial activities before and after the implementation of discussion. Before the implementation, students tended to think that they were bad at speaking English because of different factors. But before, they didn't think that they were good at speaking English, but that they have improved. In addition, it was also noticeable that self-perceived competence was affected by intervening conditions such as self-confidence, social situation, and personality. The findings were similar to the ones proposed by Blankmeyer et al. 2011, that says that active teaching strategies are beneficial for students. In this case, they had in this study, the findings said that that discussion had a positive effect on the students' self-perceived competence, which can be a benefit as the proposed by Blankmeyer. Taking into consideration all of this, it can be said that the research question could be answered. Regarding the limitations, well, the main limitation here was the time limit, because the number of interventions implemented was not were not the same of the original plan. The original plan tries to include 8 interventions, but only 4 were carried out. And this may have decreased the impact or the effect of discussion on the students' self-perceived competence. Another limitation was that because of time limit, it was only possible to apply 1 action research cycle, even though Chemis and Montoya proposed that 2 action research cycles. And one suggestion would be considering other intervening conditions, such as cognitive aspects, willingness to communicate, and motivations, since these 2 were proposed by the teacher in the questionnaire. And contributions, it can be said that this study had contributions in empirical, theoretical, political, and social aspects. Regarding the empirical, it can be said that by taking into consideration the results or the findings, teachers can implement discussion in order to enhance this, or to improve the students' self-perceived competence. Regarding the theoretical, the findings of this study can be seen as a support for theories that mention that active teaching strategies are positive, have a positive effect on students' learning. Regarding the political, because discussion can be implemented or included in the lessons plans of the curriculum in order for other teachers of different parts of the world of Chile can include it. And social, because if students continue practicing with discussion, they will feel that they are capable of speaking the foreign language. Those they would may be interested on increasing their proficiency level that, as we know, in Chile is really low. The strategy dimension, the research process, one of my strengths was the use of appropriate and reliable theoretical sources. I always try to use books rather than web page because they seem to be more, since they are published, they seem to be more truthful and gives me a truthful support. Regarding my weaknesses, I have the difficulty to identify the best method for the research. Indeed, I had to ask a lot of guidance to my advisor, and this may not seem as a weakness, but taking into consideration that I'm a 4th-year student, I should be able to identify by myself the best research method. And the challenge is related to the weakness, that is preparation and autonomy in order for me to achieve the identification of the best research method. Regarding the strategy dimension, in the internship, one of my strengths was the identification and application of the best method for students to learn. I always try to use different methodologies and see which one works best for them. One of my weaknesses would be the lack of continuous assessment because of time limit. And the challenge would be discover strategies to assess students that are not time consuming. Here you can see my references.
Thank you very much.